Two-thirds of California residents have no real idea where their tap water comes from, and they are largely unaware of the growing crisis affecting water supplies in our state. The Association of California Water Agencies is working to change that through its statewide awareness program, California's Water, a crisis we can't ignore. The problem lies within the Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta, the hub of our state's water system, responsible for channeling water supplies to more than 25 million Californians.
The Sacramento River is California's largest river. It flows from the north to the south. The San Joaquin is our second largest river, flows from south to the north. They meet in a place we call the Delta. It consists of thousands of miles of mostly inadequate levees that keep the water in the Delta away from the land, which is almost all located below sea level. A major catastrophe in the Delta, like an earthquake or a Katrina-like flood, could wipe out California's water supplies that are coming from the Delta for a period of up to 2 years, and that would be disastrous for the California economy. These problems are not academic. It's a matter of when, not if, we're going to have a major failure in the Delta. There are only two kinds of levees. There are those that have failed in the past, and there are those that are going to fail in the future.
In addition to the Delta's shaky condition, other troubling factors have combined to impact California's water future.
Climate change carries with it almost a certainty that we're going to see a warmer environment in California. And of course, that's going to affect the California snowpack. Drought is definitely a part of our climate here in the West. And we'll have to contend with drought in a warmer climate, a climate in which springs essentially end earlier, summers start earlier, our warm, dry season becomes more acute and lasts longer. It's another part of the climate change future that is a huge challenge to water resources, to our drinking water, to the water that grows our crops.
What's more, our statewide capacity for storing and delivering water supplies is falling far behind the needs of a growing population. At a recent Delta summit convened by Governor Schwarzenegger and U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein to examine the growing water crisis, Senator Feinstein underscored the dangers.
The probability of a big earthquake over 6.7 is 75% in the next 30 years. And if that were to happen, there are all indications that the Delta could collapse, the water would be gone, there'd be no water for drinking, there'd be no water for agriculture, there'd be no water for fish, marsh, ecosystems.
Aging Delta infrastructure now threatens surrounding natural environments. In fact, a federal court recently ordered a massive reduction in Delta water to 25 million Californians, potentially the largest reduction in California history, to help shelter an endangered fish species. Our state's farmers and vast agricultural lands will be the first to feel the effects of those cutbacks.
California farmers are in trouble because we're facing a water crisis. Our water's been cut, and it's going to be cut again. The Sacramento Delta is the hub of our state's water delivery system, and it's broken. And if you don't rebuild the system over the span of decades since the last time it was built, you just can't assume that that food's going to be there. The problem starts in the Sacramento Delta, but it affects all of us.
We've had a dry year, we have climate change, we have deteriorating levees in the Delta. So we know that we are facing some challenging times. It's really a perfect storm right now. In addition, we also have a court order where the judge decided to reduce pumping in order to help save the Delta smelt. So going forward, we know we're going to have about 20 to 30% less water to use in the counties. And it's just not our district. This is for water districts all across the state of California. And since about 2/3 of Californians rely on the Delta for their water, this is really an important issue that we would like people to get involved in and get engaged. Water conservation is more important now than ever, but it's not the solution. Conservation alone cannot solve this crisis.
Water has always been a symbol of our state's beauty and geographic diversity. Water is also a principal force behind our ability to thrive economically and to produce almost 60% of the crops that feed the entire nation. Today, protecting this most precious of resources is one of our state's greatest challenges. To learn more, visit www.calwatercrisis.org, because we can't take water for granted.